What's up, y'all? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I am your host with the most, Mr. A.D. Walker. And I appreciate you guys rocking here, being here with us. Let's turn that up a little bit so I can hear myself. So today, it is Friday. I think, is it the last day? Not yet. It's almost August, y'all. You realize that? It is almost August. Man, it's this year, this spring break, or not spring break, but this summer break with my kids have gone incredibly fast. And we are now at the point of sending our kids back. And we're not sure though. I mean, we are, but just so today as we play in chat, that's going to be one of the questions I want to ask you guys. Do you think things are going to be shut down again? Do you think things are going to be shut down again? So, welcome to the Brothers of Legacy, where we don't stand out, we stand out, helping men to be legacy minded. We are helping men to be legacy minded. And that is a total man in the household, in the community as well. Not neglecting household to be more community minded, but balancing, knowing where your ministry starts first in the home. So that's what we're digging into. Good morning. Who was that? Lisa. Good morning. Good morning. I appreciate you being here. Gia. So let's see. My hair is acting crazy this morning. Back up a little bit. Doesn't look as bad. So I appreciate you guys rocking and hanging. And thank you for being a part. Let's see. Let's do this. And if you've not joined our text community, make sure you do so. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. Never miss an episode. Never miss a broadcast. And you'll find out all the other things that Legacy Walker Network is a part of. All right, let's see. So it is Friday. I'm hoping my people can come through. What is this thing called? Yes. And we're going to have an amazing time. You know how we do every single day, Monday through Friday, Monday through Thursday. We have topics we speak about. On Friday, we try to lighten it up a little bit, but we're going to have some conversation in between. This is the time that we like to talk about the hot button stuff. So, yeah, gives you a chance to be a part. I think I'm going to use some of the quizzes we did on that Monday. I don't think, some people might not have seen it. If you've seen it, then you'll have a chance to, you might know some of the answers. Let's see what else I got. All right, let's see. So I'm praying that you guys are doing well. Hope your week has been productive as well as fulfilling, and you've gotten things done. I know, we are unfortunately grieving a family friend that kind of passed and just kind of surprised us, just caught us off guard. So pray for the family. It's been interesting. It's been interesting to say the least. So let's see. Let's dig into this and that. All right. Waiting for some folks to come through. Make sure you share. Sharing is caring. Forgive me, guys. I'm just checking something real quick, going through the quiz, just making sure that one of them I didn't do right by. Let's see. I think this one is straight. Yeah, I think this one is straight. Yeah, so we're gonna do a replay. So definitely we're gonna have some fun today. Make sure you're a part. Make sure you share. If you're in the building the first time, make sure you say what's up. And if you're on one of the other apps like Twitch or YouTube, let us know your name, because I like to know the real names, as well as if you're watching this on replay, put hashtag replay. And if you continue to comment and let us know what you enjoy about the show. What would you like to see more of when it comes to the Brothers of Legacy? We always like to know what you guys think. And if you're listening to this on a podcast, let us know what you think. And you can shoot us an email at, where's this to join at? Where is it at when I need it? You can shoot us an email at brothersoflegacy@gmail.com. Brothersoflegacy@gmail.com. And never, and because we don't want to talk about things that you guys want us to talk about. Make sure we're covering all the great topics so that you can be a part. So I'm trying to give some time for my folks to come in. If not, then we're just going to switch it up. We'll just have some conversation, and then we're going to get out of here. Let's see. Do this. Where is this? Bam. Yeah. It just might be one of them days. It's all good though. So today, like I said, we're gonna try to play some games. I just gotta wait for my people to come in. They're running a little behind today, as well as we're gonna have some conversation. So this is play and chat. We might just be chatting. Oh man, because I need because unfortunately I know Lisa usually plays with us, and that's cool. But I usually can't get a lot of folks that are in the audience to play. They're watching wherever they may be, because unfortunately, you do need two devices to be a part of the gameplay, or to at least hear us talk junk while we play the game. Because you can be on one device, but you won't be able to hear what we're saying about you while we're playing the game. So make sure you share. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. I got this email up. I just want, if you got any topics or something that you want to share, make sure you do so. If you're missing the notifications, you're like, why am I not being notified? Make sure you join our community. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. And never miss an episode or never miss a broadcast of whatever we're doing in our community. All right. So let's do this. And we'll be back in a moment. And we're just going to talk then. We're going to have a chat about some of the things that's happened this week. And you know me, we're going to hit some hot button, but I'm not going to talk about it the way you think I'm going to talk about it. All right, be right back. I didn't want to catch that. Morning. Good morning. Welcome to another episode. Good morning. What's up, everybody? This episode is brought to you by StreamYard. Ready to go live? Go to bit.ly/StreamYard BOL. That's bit.ly/StreamYard BOL. This episode is also brought to you by Self. Build credit now. Go to bit.ly/now build credit. bit.ly/now build credit. All right, welcome back. So we're just gonna have a chat today. Should we build up or tearing down? In our community. All right, so just I start freestyling. It's Freestyle Friday, guys. So those in our community. So we know about Derek. Let's see. Hold on. If I spelled it wrong. Um, let's do this. Public. Sorry, guys. All right. What's up, Mama Corey? Great morning to you. Great morning to you. All right. I gotta kind of get my energy up a little bit. So I want to talk about if I got the game set. My people's coming in. We're gonna play. They're running a little behind today. It's all good. It's Friday. Friday. It's Friday. Um, there's been a lot of things happening, in the news lately. Simone Biles, Shakari Richardson, I think that's her name. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. And I've been thinking about something, right? And some of the situations and issues, and it's not about them particularly or their decisions or the things that they did. This is about, should we be building up or tearing down those in our community in public? Should we be building up or tearing down those in our community in public? What's up, Cheryl? Good morning. Blessings to you. Today, and please share. Sharing is caring. Get some folks in here. We're going to kind of just talk. And I wanted to talk about, regardless of what side of the fence you are, what side you have, because all of us are entitled. We're entitled to our opinion about situations and things we see. The issue becomes how you express your opinion, right? So if something you see that someone does in the public eye, can bother you, make you feel some kind of way. I always laugh at that saying, make you feel some kind of way. I always wonder where that came from, because that's not a term that's been around for a long time. Feel some kind of way. How, should you be expressing it in such anger or passion in the public eye? Now, I get when someone posts something and you defend, like someone posts about Simone Biles and they say she was a traitor, I don't know, or quitter, whatever. And, you put under there, you try to defend and try to lighten it or balance it. I get it, because someone says something, you're responding back to it. But should you be the one to put things like, because I've heard some harsh things said about Simone Biles, harsh, like ridiculous. Like I truly feel like some folks are looking for their 15 minutes because they are going in on Simone Biles. Like, there are those that are cheering her for her not being in it. And that's another side of it, how you feel about someone cheering on, but at the same time, like, these are people, right? I think about this. Like I was like, if Simone, because she has a boyfriend, if I was the boyfriend, how would I feel about things being said about, if I was her, because I would more likely be her parent, and how I would feel about them vilifying my daughter in public like that. And how do we, like, especially us as a people, should we be tearing down those in our community? Is it our place? And I know the answer should be no. I get sometimes when when something's happening in public, in a public space, and you're watching, and you are, people are applauding it, right? People are like, yeah, yeah, and you just like, why are they applauding this disgrace? Why are they applauding this nonsense? And I'm not talking about Simone Biles per se, but I'm just saying, like, something that you're looking like, how people congratulating this, how people cheering this, and I get, you have an emotional response and you post it. You post like, I don't care what everybody else say, this is nonsense, but I don't know, do we consider the feelings of those that we talk about? especially in the public eye? You know, do we consider the feelings of those that we talk about? You know, because, you know, we get so, we look at these people, you know, they're public figures, and I know they signed up for a job that makes them an easy target. I get that part, but is it right? You know, trust me, I've seen the post, and I was like, I'm not getting in this. And it's crazy, like on the flip, when what's up, Ghost Dan? Um, I get on the flip when um when someone puts a post up saying one thing, right? And everybody's like in agreement with the post. And then someone says, but shouldn't we be looking at blah, say blah? You know, they don't go in, but they just don't totally agree with congratulating. Like, you know, of course, the first posts I've seen were congratulating Simone Biles. Yes, mental health, do it. Mental health, do it. And then someone was like, isn't she encouraging girls to quit? You know, asking the question, you know, just putting a different spin on it, a different perspective. Of course, everybody begins to attack him. What kind of male misogyny? And I'm like, he just was asking a question. You know. And some conversation seems to be challenging to have. Lucas, right? That gets you right, Lucas. So let me know if I'm right. I think it's less about intent and more how everything is framed today. This always existed in the form of gossip. Today, they just have avenues to expose it, right? Through social media. That little dopamine rush of listen, that's real. That dopamine rush. Yes, that said it. Let's see what people say. Because I think it's like twofold. Like I said it, put it out there. Yeah, I said it. I said it. And then when you get the responses, that's even further pushes you. And if, you know, depending on what kind of tough skin you have, even if it's the negative stuff, like you crazy, you shouldn't be saying stuff like that. That's even more like, I will, because blah, 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 blah. You know, so it is. You're right. The little corners of those that have different thinking or different opinions that we never really have heard from as much, right? That never really outwardly express it, you know, because like if we're in a public setting, they would never say it. Like if we're having a conversation, they would never be brave enough to really voice it, right? In the midst of it, Simone Biles is just, oh my gosh. And then that person would be like, nah, I don't think, you know, there's a rare few that are brave that were like, I have an opinion, I'm gonna just say it. But there's the keyboard thugs, I call them, they would never say it in public. They would never say it in the midst of everybody. They'll say it on here, and let the chips fall where they may, you know, but they would never publicly say it. But yeah, it's crazy how, you know, you get hyped up, you want to say something, and then Facebook, and I don't care what y'all say, Facebook loves drama. Facebook loves drama. The algorithm, I feel like, is set for drama. Now, we'll say, of course, the algorithms is more or less a lot of comments on something. You know, they begin to push the post in front of more people. There's a guy, I don't know his name, and I probably wouldn't mention it anyway, has a blue check mark. And he, white guy, and I just want to mention that he was going in on Simone, going in. And he came up on my timeline. I'm like, I'm not even, and I look like, am I following this dude? And I checked, no, I'm not. But I think Cole commented against it. I'll make that clear. My man Cole Johnson said something against what he was saying. And I guess Facebook's like, yes, everybody that Cole knows is going to see this post too, to get more traction on this post, you know. And it's crazy. Maybe he boosted the post or something. And he, you know, maybe that happened, but it's crazy how, you know, Facebook, I'm telling you, I remember I've been times that me and my wife are talking about somebody, you know, not in a negative way, just like, you know, that was crazy, or oh wow, you know, and they pop up on our timeline. Like, I ain't seen nothing from them in like forever. And then they all of a sudden they pop up on my timeline. Oh, good morning, Pastor. Good morning.
Morning.
You're good. What's up, Richard?
Friday. I was running late this morning.
You're good. It's a Freestyle Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So Lucas, is that did I get that right? Let me know, Ghost Dan. I know I got one Twitch friend I know the name of. I think you might be Lucas. Let me know. Human beings always seek validation through condemnation. That sense of moral superiority. To be fair, it's been a constant since the dawn of humanity, right? Over exposition or maybe overexposure just made people go a little crazier. Indeed. Can somebody be born evil? I mean, we're born into sin. I don't know about born evil. Yeah, I got it right. Oh, Lucas. Yes, indeed. All right. Welcome, Lucas. So that's a different question. Thoughts? This is a moment of thought from Richard.
Yeah, everything we do is learned behavior.
Yes. That's what. Didn't we talk about yesterday about or maybe one of the times is we talk about the kids. If they're, it's up until a certain point. That's all parent training. Like, that's the way they're. So
maybe it's because I have a white shirt on, I think.
Oh, yeah, it's throwing it off a little bit.
Yeah.
So you good though. So today I was, talking about, building, well, not this other things, but should we be building up or tearing down those in our community in public? In particular, of course, the Simone Biles situation, the Sha'Carri Richardson.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying not to jack nobody's name up. Situation. Whether you agree or disagree, people, and like I said, you're entitled to have an opinion, but should you be in public tearing folk down? Because people have going, oh man, they have like someone I was listening to, what was we watching or listening to? I think Sam was scrolling something. Someone was like calling Simone Biles of course, the quitter, traitor, all kind like going in. I'm like, what? Now you done gave the medals to the Russians and like what is she, like CIA? Like what? Like she gave up the country's secrets? Like it's the Olympics. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Like
do we want to deal with that? Do we want to have that conversation? Can we take a poll? Can we take a poll?
Okay, let's go.
I don't know how many people are online.
Yeah.
But if you're willing to express yourself, I want to know how many people are in agreement with what she did or how she did what she did. The fact that she stepped away from the Olympics. And how many people don't agree? That's what I want to know. Are you willing to put that out there in the comments? I agree with what she did. I support what she did. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you can support what she did. Her decision is her decision. But I'm just thinking about, the consequences of her decisions. Right. You're operating at the top of your field.
Right. The top. She's the best. They got moves named after her. She's like the top right now. Yeah.
And so people, this opportunity comes once every 4 or 5 years for people. And for some, it's once in a lifetime opportunity. You get one shot, as Eminem said. Right. And you get all the way there. Right. But I get that, Lisa. But I'm saying based on what you understand, based on what you know, the reality is she said she didn't feel like herself. She said the pressures. Her words were, there's a lot of pressure on us. And I wasn't feeling my best. So I stepped away. These were her words.
Right.
We have a lot of pressure on us to perform and all of that. And I'd rather not perform when I'm not at my best.
That's it in a nutshell. Yeah. That's it.
And so people were upset because some were saying, how do you get all the way there and then that be the reason that you stop? You just because you basically backed out, which means you leave a void for your team. I'm giving you, this is what people's position is. And you competed all year. Right. Someone else could have had the slot.
Because the alternatives couldn't go at that point.
You've already been there. And you wait to get all the way there to decide because you're not performing at your best. That it's the pressure and you're gonna back out. Okay.
What do you guys?
And so now everyone is coming to her aid because no one wants to challenge her. No one wants to be accused of calling her out or anything like that. And the reality is she left a void, but she made room. But what I'm talking about is, and again, I want to make sure I understand. I want to make sure I make clear the people that have a challenge have a problem with her quitting. She made room for somebody else had to step up and do something and perform. Reality is that person probably would have performed anyway because Simone Biles wasn't at her best. When
it happened, me and my wife were talking, I was like, man, that's like we on a team and we got Jordan and we're like, oh yeah, this is about to be dope. And then all of a sudden Jordan's like, I can't do this. I'm out. Like, wait, what? Yo, you the one that the tip, if anything, like if we do 1,000%, we can rely on you to kind of get us in there. And I get maybe she didn't feel her best. Man, I don't know if
the question is, what do you like if you don't feel your best, you still do your best.
And I know, like, if you're,
I wasn't really feeling it, but I gave it my all.
But
what you don't do is just walk away and leave your team. Right now, I get, and listen, there's some would say you have no idea the pressure.
That too
have on them. A gymnast not being at their best could mean the difference between, a lifelong injury. Right. Because of how they're contorting their bodies and everything. So if you're not at your best, they will tell you need to get off the apparatus. You need to just stop, not even try to compete, because if you're not there mentally, you could really hurt yourself. Right. So so you have to think about that. Right. You have to think about the fact that you'll have an opportunity to come back, recover, get yourself together and do it again. So no one can tell you the kind of pressure that somebody is under. You have to recognize that. Right. Because you think of some people were putting up, Carrie Strug back in the day when she did the vault when her leg was basically broken. But the pressure she had was because her coach was telling her, you go do it. That was a different kind of pressure because she felt like she didn't have a choice. She told her coach, yeah, I'll go do it. And she landed the vault, but she didn't compete after that. Meaning at that time, they were being used as tools. They were vices. You were, I'm going to use you for this Olympics. And if you can't do it anymore, I'm going to toss you away like a piece of garbage. And that's how it was back then. And so there was a different kind of pressure, which was really unfair to the gymnasts, Yeah, Mary Alden back then, they were just treated like pieces of meat.
Even more so.
And let's not even bring up Larry Nassar.
Oh God!
And the pressure and carrying all that nonsense. So no one can really be in the mind of that person, right? So you have to support her in that regard. The question is with regards to the act of walking off, and you were not injured. You could have gone forth, but you made the decision not to because you didn't feel like you were at your best. And some would say, well, because she wasn't at her best, she knew she wasn't going to win, so it wasn't worth her competing. Because you're at your best as long as you land that vault, you land on your feet and you do your thing, you're at your best. But the minute you flop on something,
because that's what
now
it
the
looks like.
pressure is too much for you and you quit and you walk away. So is it really that you weren't at your best, or is it that you knew you weren't going to win? So, and in this season, mental health is so real that you're not worried about anybody coming at you.
Whew. Okay, let me get some of these comments. As someone who struggles a lot with suicidal thoughts and internal dread, some days everything can come at once. All the pain, the shame, the self-hatred, that desire to just disappear, and all that under pressure of Olympics, I can 100% understand. There are days I just keep staring at a knife and think today is the day. We're going to pray for you, Lucas.
Well, I hope that's not you. I hope you're giving an example of someone else, because your life is far more valuable.
Right. Yes, indeed.
That's a whole other conversation, and yes, we'd love to.
Cheryl said, very possible. No doubt the pressure is not new in any sport. The lack of physical support of an audience didn't help. Right. Cheering on and things of that nature. I can imagine that. All right. Taiwan said, Black athletes representing the country that shows us time and time again we are not embraced here is something that needs a further discussion. I'm not upset she walked away for whatever decision she chose. Indeed. Simone is the best gymnast in the American history. Most criticize her aren't even able to do what she has achieved. Armchair critics make me angry.
One correction. She's the best gymnast
in world history.
Not American.
He's the best gymnast in world history.
Olympics is a global competition. That's everybody in the world, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's clarity. And all I get an understanding.
She has routines named after her.
Right. Right. I mean, that right. Just like, oh man. Okay. Dr. Rollins says, I don't have an issue with her decision. I don't have to live with her decision. Right. I did wonder, if this was a male, right, what would the conversation be? If Giannis said, this is stressing me out, I can't go in these finals, would we be like, okay, we still love you?
Well, we already have that answer, Dr. Rollins. We know that
answer
he would have been shredded. If this was a man, he would have been shredded. If it was a black man, they wouldn't even want him to put the uniform on again.
Well, heck,
Giannis has done his best, and they still call him. Look, LeBron has been called a choker. LeBron has been called everything. They said Giannis wasn't built for the championship until he won the championship.
Look, the biggest label in terms of a negative any sports fan wants to put on an athlete is softness. And if an athlete shows any type of care about themselves, saying that basically my life is more important than the game,
right,
you will have sports fan quickly call that athlete soft.
Wow.
And that is not general. Right. A male athlete or female athlete, you to the average fan, you are considered soft if you basically put your own health above the game.
Yes.
You just are.
Right. That's good. He said, I wouldn't judge her or anything. We never know what's going on within a person at any given moment. Richard said, they said Simone was carrying an injury. She is a beast in the gymnastic world. Yes, indeed. Simone liked comments that said the level of gymnastics that she is on, if she would have went on, they're out there with the mindset she was in, she could have seriously injured herself. I heard that this is gymnastics, and on the level that she is on, it's extremely dangerous.
And
but how is that any different than any other gymnast out there doing the same stuff? She's the best in the game, and so the level that she's on, I mean, everybody out there is under the same pressure. Why is hers any different? Because she's Simone Biles? Is it the pressure that the world put on her, or is it the pressure that she put on herself?
If it was any other gymnast, I would agree with you, sir. With Simone Biles, I somewhat disagree, because there was times when, and there was reports leaked out basically that judges starting in 2019, I believe, they actually were saying they were going to judge her in these meets more harshly than they would every other gymnast, because her standard was just so far and above every other gymnast in the entire world. So you have that. But if you're talking about every other gymnast, your statement is absolutely correct, sir.
Yeah.
That one.
It's hard to be king.
Oh, no question. Oh, 100.
Yeah,
100.
it's
But
hard to be king.
mm,
And you did stitch the picture of a
Go-
goat on your leotard, right?
did you really?
But nobody made you
I
do
didn't know
that. Nobody made you do that. And when people
did it
ask you
for?
why would you put that on there, you said because of my haters. So that's some really, really strong mental game right there, man. That's some strong mental game.
Look,
And so you go from, and because I've never seen anybody have the courage and the boldness to go stitch a goat on their uniform.
look, man, you get no argument out of me over that. None. I agree with you. That is a bold statement.
Let's see. So time
It doesn't get much bolder than
that.
that.
No, it doesn't.
Let's see. Well, it said they changed.
No, you're right. Everybody's not under the same pressure. I agree with you, man. I'm saying that is it the pressure the world put on her? Is it the pressure she put on herself?
No, that's a good question to ask right there.
Yeah,
no question. That's a good
question. I mean, you do like if you killed it, like I mean, she took it to a whole nother level, and that was the first time. Like that's a lot of pressure. Like as much as you don't want to think about it, it's like I scored almost 100% of my shots. Like like now it's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure.
But isn't that what makes champions? Being able to take all that pressure?
Did we take that and rise above the pressure?
I'm with it. I'm like I've never been a champion like that, but it's I get it. It's just
most people have an AD. Most people
to me, it just it's I know it, and I could imagine it mounted like it couldn't have started when she got there. Like it had to be it had to be before. Like snowballing a lot. Like I'm sure she had to talk to somebody like, hey, I was thinking about, and I'm sure because I was like, nah, you got this, girl. You got this. You
I blame the boyfriend. If she didn't have no boyfriend, she'd have been fine.
Yeah, that's good. I got
all the stuff with the boyfriend and all this NFL player and all that kind of stuff.
He's a player though. He's an NFL
I think
player
it
though.
With her focus, man. I think it messed with her.
Yeah,
focus.
that too. You're right, because before then it was just gymnastics. And
I'm trying to be as dramatic as I can on this Friday, y'all. I'm trying
to light some fires right now. Pastor speaking like a father of a daughter right now.
I took that straight to my daughter. I'm like, see, you see that? See that? The minute you got a boyfriend,
you screwed it up. She screwed it up. Don't be like Simone, baby. Don't be like Simone.
Oh man, Cole Johnson.
Oh my gosh.
It is so wrong. Most who criticize really are qualified to speak like unless they have competitive athletes. I love Simone Biles.
Here's the thing, Richard, about that. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the average sports fan, they're still saying, so what? That person is entertaining me. And
right.
that's the view they take.
Right. All right. She said, Darwan said she's not even being judged fairly because right. I think that's whack too. Like
above and beyond everybody.
Why the standards got to change? Because I'm nice. Like, don't be mad because I'm nice.
Look, here's the thing. She was doing routines that male gymnasts are doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Cole. So let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to go down in history as the person who completely changed the game? Right. They had to change the rules because
of good morning.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. They had to create a new category of difficulty because of my athletic ability.
Yeah.
Right.
Dope.
Yep.
Are you gonna be mad because they judge you harsher because because you're in a world all by yourself?
Now I'll put it this way.
I think that's whack.
I'll put it this way. At our young at heart ages, the answer to that is I welcome it. Come on, bring it on.
Right.
I know that I know I put this undue pressure upon myself and these undue expectations on myself. Bring it, because I'm going to show you that I am better than everybody else. To a mid-20s-year-old woman or man, actually, that's a little different. Now, am I excusing Simone for that mentality? No. But what I'm saying is I think we have to look at it from those aspects. And I think many of us don't.
I would look at you like everybody else look at you if you looked at yourself like everybody else. But you look at yourself as the GOAT.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So why can't I score you based on being the greatest of all time, which you have deemed yourself?
Yeah.
They had to change the rules for Shaq.
Right. And
Did it really?
Right? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because couldn't nobody hurt him. Everything was a foul was not a foul.
Yeah,
if you were hitting Shaq.
Refs would be a little more hesitant to what's a foul on Shaq.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
when he
talk.
became dominant. Yeah, when like around 99, 2000. Yeah, refs were a little more hesitant.
So big and strong, they let people beat up on him because because they couldn't stop him.
Yeah, he was just too dominant, too big, too strong, and just ruled over the game. And well, many refs thought, okay, well, the Lakers have an unfair advantage because of this guy.
Simone Biles she literally had to create different routines. She could have done the same routine she did in the last Olympics and won gold.
And still would have won gold. Right.
Yeah, but that's whack.
Boring, right? Because we have to keep climbing. Exactly. So if you're going to keep climbing, the
championship
standard
mentality.
change.
Yeah. The championship mentality. Yeah.
Yes.
I have to outdo my last great performance.
I mean, I get that part. But the fact that myself, I'm dope. Like, I get changing the game when, like, if me, you, and me, Pastor, and Cole get in and we find a sneaker, you know what I'm saying? Or find a way, like we learn a new training technique that dominates, like, so it's like, yo, the game has changed. Like we have set the standard. We have changed, like, oh, we have to raise the bar because next year, of course, we're going to be training five guys each. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now the bar raises. So we have to change the rules. Like, because even with basketball, even with the high jumps, they move it because, sneakers has gotten better, like the technology is better, the training is different. Oh, but for one person, I don't agree.
Listen.
I don't agree.
At one point in time, Carl Lewis was the greatest
he was
of all time.
Right.
Is that still the case?
No.
Why not? He was the fastest.
Right. He was
in the 100.
Right. Technology. Training.
Why is he still not the greatest of all time?
Technology. Training is changed.
Because he didn't keep getting faster.
That and a guy by the name of Usain Bolt. But
listen. Yeah. And so the question is, right? So what was at Carl Lewis' time the fastest time ever changed when somebody else came along.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. It actually changed when he was the greatest. But of course, it was proven that the guy was under performance enhancing drugs. But
right. Michael Johnson at one point was the greatest of all time.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How does that change?
Right.
Somebody came along better.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That happens. No, that happens. You're right.
Okay. So and when Carl Lewis did Carl Lewis ever break his own record?
Yeah, he did.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, like about at the tail end of his prime, he did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But did the rules change?
So
the rules change?
Yeah, you had to run faster in order to be the greatest.
Yeah, but this is different.
You can't
create another category because I'm the GOAT.
You can no longer win gold running Carl Lewis time.
Yeah, running 9.9. And that was the fastest he ever ran.
He changed the game.
Yeah.
He changed the rules. 9.9 doesn't get you there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
no, 9.9 in the 100 meter. I mean, but yeah.
I mean, but my thing is everybody should be judged the same.
My only argument, my only here, because it was important for me to take this side of it.
Right.
Y'all notice we stopped getting comments. You can get under people's skin real easily, right? What I'm saying to you, thank you, Willette. I appreciate you. Appreciate you.
So intelligent.
To whom much is given. There's a lady with her book.
Right. She had to write a little bit.
Much is required.
Right.
Right. And what I'm saying is you are within your right. If you're not feeling it, you have to do what's best for you.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's it's real.
No doubt.
But I think what you're arguing, which is a valid one, is you're taking a stance that most sports fans do take.
Mm-hmm.
which is, yeah, the athlete does have the right to do what he or she should do if they feel as though they aren't up to performing at the highest of levels.
Right.
But if you're going to invite that pressure, then you have to step up to the plate and perform at that level. Otherwise, people are going to throw tomatoes, eggs, and whatever else at you and say that you aren't what you say you are.
Right. Man, that was perfectly said. And listen, I had to do this because I wanted to see if I could ruffle some feathers. But I personally, I love what she did.
I do too.
Because what she did was own her space.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can do what I want to do. It doesn't matter, because the reality is, competing or not competing, right now today, she's still the greatest.
Yes.
You understand? She didn't even have to show up.
No,
right?
She didn't even have to be at Tokyo.
She didn't have to be there. And what I'm saying is, in this Olympics, nobody was going to outdo what she's already done at this point.
Right. You're right.
That's the reality. So to me, that's golden. Yeah. That's golden. And I love it when someone who, when I say look like me, I ain't calling myself no girl.
Make that clear. Let's put some clarity on it.
Right. Whenever there's an opportunity for someone who looks like us to own their space,
yeah,
we ought to be proud.
Right.
Period. You understand? Because it's, I feel like when it's all, you can take whatever position you want to take, but at the end of the day, I'm so glad that whether she competed or not competed, I don't care if she says she had diarrhea. The reality is, you still can't touch what she's already done.
True.
Exactly.
That's the reality. So whether she was feeling it or whether she wasn't feeling it, my point is, it's irrelevant. And I think it was Dr. Rollins who said it was her decision. You can't tell somebody how to feel. You can't get in anybody's head. None of that. And and what I wanted to show you is how ridiculous the whole debate is.
Oh, yes.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Everybody's taking a side and all that, and Simone is at home eating pizza.
Right.
With a silver medal from these Olympians. From this Olympian.
And I'm really happy that this other girl, Sunisa Lee,
Sunny Lee,
is now holding the gold medal for the all-around individual competition.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So to somebody's point, it made room for somebody else to get gold. I am not too far away from believing that Simone Biles was like, girl, I'm going home. You go ahead and get it.
That's right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
I got that.
seriously.
AD has Olympic medals and laughing at my own jokes. You right about that. Because I'm funny. I am funny.
Yeah, well, we can see a broken leg. But listen, I don't even want to take it that far and say it was a broken mind. I'm just like, she got all the way to Tokyo. Was like,
nah, I won't do
nah.
Look, to your earlier point, Pastor, when you're talking about we should, if someone of our wonderful, beautiful hue of skin, if they were to say, I'm going to own my own space, that we should applaud them. Let me bring Naomi Osaka into this conversation, because earlier this year, that's exactly what she did.
Yeah.
Before the French Open, before it even began, she actually said that she wasn't even going to speak to reporters. That you can ask whatever you want. I'm not really going to engage because I got to take care of my mental health.
Right. Yeah.
Well, the French Open said, well, we're going to fine you.
Wow.
And if you don't go in these interviews and answer these questions from the reporters, we'll kick you out of the French Open tournament.
Wow.
So she was like, okay, peace out.
Wow.
And not just a French Open, peace out for a good long while.
Wow.
Yeah. Now you don't have the marketing with me. You know, like, did y'all learn anything from watching Marshawn Lynch? I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I hate to say it. Marshawn actually gave you the blueprint.
Right. He did.
But he actually did. All seriousness, he actually did. But Megyn Kelly. Now, when have you heard her name?
And Fox, and then the scandals.
No, not where.
No. Whenever a black athlete steps up and stands up for themselves, that's when you hear Megyn Kelly.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now, since we haven't had one stand up and actually speak out in a certain manner,
Right.
like Colin Kaepernick. It's been a while since we heard her name.
Yeah.
Well, when she caught wind of Naomi Osaka saying, I'm going to take a break from tennis, and then she decided to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated a little later,
Right.
she decided to just pop off at the mouth and say, well, so you can't play tennis, but you have enough time to take a photo shoot at the beach.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't matter what these athletes do.
Hey, Cheryl. Good morning.
It doesn't matter at all. If she feels like taking a photo shoot and be on the cover of Sports Illustrated, cool. If she feels like being at been in a baseball game and do that, fine. If she feels like diving off of a cliff, that's fine. But that's her business because it's what her life.
Right.
Yep.
And if that feeds her, if that feeds into her, if that gives her the peace, and hopefully it is of God, the peace of God which passes all understanding, then who are we to say, you know what, Naomi, you are foul and you're out of pocket?
Right. Well, you can say it, but it doesn't get you anything.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I said, not sure if you guys covered this. People often make the mistake of thinking everyone who is built for greatness is also built for fame.
100.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Listen, go talk to River Phoenix.
Right.
Ooh.
I mean, no, Joaquin Phoenix. Both of them.
Right.
River Phoenix
both of them.
was built for greatness,
right?
But he couldn't handle the fame,
right?
So his brother Joaquin Phoenix learned from that. As great an actor as he is, you never see him in public. You never see him do interviews. In the last 20 years, I think he's done one.
Right.
He stays at his home. He lives in where he lives looks nothing like his bank account.
Right.
He lives a very simple, modest life because learning from his brother, he wanted the greatness of acting, but he did not want the fame of Hollywood.
Right.
You're right. Not everybody's built for that.
Right. They said, right. If you don't own it, it can hurt, but a peaceful life is far more valuable. Yes, indeed.
Oh, yeah.
It said, she's incredible. And it's incredible. She be the Biles of tennis, beast of tennis players. Now WTA and ATP tour, now reforming president views and the whole tour. So when it's called the Osaka Prince,
she changed the game. That's what
she changed the game. Because that she changed the game.
Yeah,
which
be very careful.
I could not be more proud of her for doing that. Yeah, but be careful. You're right. But I could not be more proud of her because of that. And the same thing goes with Simone. The same
owning your space.
Yeah.
You're not going to tell me where to be and when to be there and all that. Y'all came to see me, right?
Yeah.
And you'll see me when I show up.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, though. So I dig the owning your space. I like the empowerment. But if I'm part of a system that has made me who I am, right? Okay. Shouldn't I have some level of loyalty to that system that's made me who I am?
No, you have loyalty to your purpose. The problem is we get confused about our Here's the thing. Let me tell you something, man. This is and I love what you just said.
Yeah. That's a really good question, though.
It is. It's a great question. And the simple part of it is it's entertainment.
No doubt.
That's just the fact. You want to be a great basketball player. You want to get the NBA finals and all that. Okay, you're doing all that. What's the purpose? Because I want to be the best that I can be. Right. And the reason I chose this path is because of everything that comes with it.
Right.
It's my own personal goal. It's not the goal that my brother had for me. It's not the goal that my dad had for me. I had to make the decision to do this. The only people that I think had the goal set for them by somebody else was Venus and Serena. Maybe Tiger.
Right. Yeah, because of
Tiger Woods started playing golf at the age of 3, which means somebody had to have him do it.
Right.
All three of them because of their fathers.
Venus and Serena's dad said, "I'm going to make y'all famous."
Right.
Let's go and just stop the court and do work.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that.
And what I'm saying is, love it or hate it, they embraced what was put in them, and they went and achieved it. Yeah. Right now, and they did it their way. The beads and all that. The tennis world wasn't ready for Venus and Serena.
Right.
No,
and they did not change who they were until they made millions. No,
sports, professional sports leagues embraced you. sports professional leagues would embrace you, AD, for that question.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, they would want to have their athletes do the same thing.
Right.
To answer that question, yes, because they want their athletes to be beholden to whatever the governing body of that sport is.
Right.
Cole, they were burning LeBron James jerseys in Cleveland when he decided to go to South Beach.
And then they taped them back up 4 years later.
Now everybody's trying to make a super team. Now everybody's moving all over the place.
Yeah, and then they taped it back up 4 years later.
Right.
Right.
Burn stains and all.
All the old heads were like, well, back when I played, you stayed with the same team,
Right.
Now everybody's jumping around, playing with their buddies and all this kind of stuff. And it was madly criticized, when LeBron James started doing this. When Kevin Durant left and went to play with the people that beat him, he was called all kinds of crazy.
Right.
But he ends up with a couple of rings, with the MVP, and now he's considered one of the greatest of all times. And he played with absolutely the greatest backcourt of shooters in the history of the game.
Yep.
Right.
So
you can say what you want, but the man did it his way.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's a thing. Yeah. About to say that's the thing. The sports governing bodies want these athletes to be beholden to them, but the athletes have to understand that they have to have the Frank Sinatra technique and mantra. They have to do it their way. And if they don't do it their way, they have seen many other instances where when the league really does not give a about
drop you like a bad habit.
And in retirement, when they retired, they could really care less about you. So they are trying to fight against that.
I think
Terrell Owens had to beg to get into the Hall of Fame.
Right. Wow. I think with the advent of social media and why I lean on that is the fact that, back in the day and back in the day, getting seen is I need an outlet to put a camera in my face so I can tell my story. Like I had to get on the newspaper. I had to coerce a reporter. I had to, like if something was done wrong, I had to coerce somebody. All right, no problem, Pastor. Love you, man. We'll see you on Monday.
Troublemakers leaving. Love y'all. Have a great weekend.
Don't worry. I'm gonna hold up the banner. I got you. And back in the day, you had to get the coercion. You had to, but now, like with Simone Biles, the first thing I'm sure most people did was go straight to her page. Ooh, let me follow her. Let me see. Let me see what she's going to say. How is she go? And you get your unfiltered, unbiased opinion. You just give it without having to go before a news reporter and them chopping it up to say what they want it to sound like. So I think everything is the whole fame game is changed. Like all I need you to do is give me a good 15 minutes of a spotlight so I can get people on my page and then I can control the narrative now. Like I think that's why like the conglomerates are hurting, like the NBA is like, I can just switch. It's like, if y'all don't agree, I just get my social media clan to follow, to agree, to say, this is what we want, so I think now it is easier to walk off, it's easier to do you, because I know celebrities have come out for Simone Biles and things like that. But at the same time, like now she can come out and speak for herself, and average folk can be like, yeah, I'm with it. Right. So it's the whole game has changed. That's why I think owning your space is a little easier, because because any press now is like, that's fine, I'll sponsor her. If a value drops 100,000, like, oh, now I can afford her. Now I can afford to give her these sneakers. Now I can afford for her to represent this brand.
Right.
So so regardless of what happens, she'll still be a brand name.
Now I have my fun at times with LeBron James. AD needles me often about this.
Oh yeah.
But he changed the game in a fundamental fashion with being his own brand. Now, not saying that we haven't seen it before. Michael Jordan was his own brand, and before him, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson were their own brand, and even before them, Kareem was. But the way he became his own brand is how he changed the game, and because of how he basically became a business conglomerate of his own on his own while he is still a basketball player.
Right.
You start to see others, and not just in basketball, you start to see others outside of basketball do the same thing.
Right.
It's best reflected in tennis, actually, with Serena, with Roger Federer, with Rafael Nadal, and even with Naomi Osaka to a degree.
Right.
You're seeing athletes actually saying, "Oh, having my own platform is great. I can do this independent of having any media shove a microphone under my mouth. I can speak what I want, how I want, when I want, how often I want."
Yep.
And then, of course, it is helped by a guy like Marshawn Lynch, who he just shows, look, I'm here so I won't get fined. That's all you're getting out of me.
That's all you get.
Yeah, that's all you're getting out of me.
Right.
And whenever I feel up to it, I will choose the time and the place where I will show fully who I am.
Right.
But you're not going to dictate to me when that time and place will be.
Right.
Having these athletes taking control of their own narrative and taking control of their own lives, that has actually changed the game. And LeBron actually was at the forefront of that change.
Right.
And so it has helped athletes like a Naomi, like a Simone, actually take a step back and say, well, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me there's more to life than tennis?
Right.
You mean to tell me there's more to life than gymnastics?
Right.
You mean to tell me I have to actually be at one and in tune with myself, and I can be that way,
right?
And I don't have to be beholden to the Olympics or to the WTA,
right? That's the beautiful part.
Yeah, that is the beautiful part.
And,
and seeing these women actually just live their life with the understanding they are great,
right?
But life is so much more precious being healthier in the mind. It's a beautiful thing to see.
Right. I was reading the story because I started looking up when when Simone Biles left. I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened? What, we protesting? What's going on? What's going down? Like
same.
What happened? And then I found out that she had a contract, and this has nothing to do with her leaving. She had a contract with a big company, and she decided to go with another company, I think, to create her own brand of like sports athletic wear. And it's so funny. I'm looking at Cole at Richards, said your Cole Johnson, Michael Jordan's worth $2.2 billion.
Yeah.
And but let's talk about control. Let's talk about my real fair share. Michael Jordan had the biggest contract back then, but in reality, how much more he would have if his name really got to play. Back then you had to and back then what I mean is like the 90s before social media, you go to companies, please give me the opportunity to be a part, and it was between, I think back then it was Nike and who was it? Adidas, I think.
Adidas.
And back then Adidas was higher up. Nike was kind of just trying to get their leg in and trying to make their move. Yeah. And I know it's hard to imagine like Nike. Nike was really just trying to make their move.
Yeah, Nike was basically nothing until Michael Jordan.
Right. And think now, like anybody of even with the Yeezys, he got more a bigger share because he had because of his name and now anybody can just come on, hey, I got this and money, just instant. Before it was a process, like gotta go through product, gotta go through marketing, gotta go, like you got the product done. All right, I'm gonna show it on live and then I'm gonna start selling it.
Here's something to buffer what you're saying. Michael Jordan. Now we all say many of us, I'm included here, saying greatest basketball player ever played.
Right.
He in his last 2 years had his contract at $33 million a year. 33 million in 1987, 33 million in 1998. You know how much he earned per year before then?
Ooh, how much?
$1 million.
Wow.
1 million. All that greatness, but he only was getting paid $1 million.
Wow.
Now, obviously, he got his fame and fortune through all the endorsement deals that he signed out the wazoo, and of course the Nike shoe, and to actually what LeBron's doing too. LeBron saw what type of deal that Michael Jordan had with Nike and said, I see that Mike is getting this, but Nike's getting this off of him.
Right.
I think when he actually had the opportunity to argue it, meaning put in a few years in the NBA and have some clout.
Yes.
I think I can argue for a bigger share of what I get from Nike. That you cannot express how important that is in having these athletes learn from the past and see that their worth is more than just whatever a boardroom guy or woman tells them they are.
Right. Yeah, that's good. I think about Dave Chappelle when he was talking about all the people that's part of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I was in a room with people that I thought was on my team, but I think they were just part of the game.
He was 100% correct.
Yeah, that's good. Lebron James said, "How do we know it's easy? No one knows Simone Biles' mental state when making her decision. A mental broken mind could be harder to heal than physical." Yeah, she realized there's more to our life than and listen, no one says listen, I'm sure she had 52,000 conversations before she made the full announcement, before she got up and said, I'm sure she talked to probably just about everybody on the team, like not even her team players, but the people around her, like, yo, I'm really not feeling this. I think then someone had to be like, then just quit, just bounce. There's obviously there's no contract obligation that you gotta be here. Let's roll out. Let's go. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. We're gonna do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And trust me, before she even announced it to the officials, she was just. I'm sure they had a lot of conversation. She probably talked to her team, and they were probably like, "You leaving?"
Mm-hmm. Now to your comment, lady, and to our overwhelming sentiment, because we all definitely believe that Simone did the right thing.
Yeah,
you have people. In fact, in Texas, my former home state, the attorney general there had the audacity to call what Simone did, quote, a national embarrassment.
I think I heard.
Close quote. And I'm thinking to myself, how in the world is this a national embarrassment? I guaranteed if Simone, because I saw the floor exercise where she almost flipped completely off of the floor.
Right.
Now, if she were to have done some damage to herself and just push through like you would want every other athlete to do and injure herself and ruin the opportunity for the United States to not even medal, I bet you that same guy would say the exact same thing.
Right.
Simone Biles is a national embarrassment. That right there is the poisonous example of how the average sports fan is. And it sickens me that we just view having them entertain us to mean more than an athlete's health.
Definitely. Thomas said if Jordan was paid his worth, he would be valued well over 100 billion. Yes, indeed.
Oh gosh, yes.
200 million contracts when Mike topped at 30 million. Yes, indeed.
I mean, the NBA raked in billions because of him. No question, bro. No question.
I'm curious to see how this whole change in the NCAA rules is gonna change some things and see how that goes down. All right. So we appreciate you guys rocking and hanging with us. And we're gonna get out of here. Make sure you check us out tomorrow. If you're on Twitch, you might see an extra video. I'm gonna test out the replay, like where I can broadcast something replay on without, I can schedule it. It'll play and stop. So you might see an odd time video. So make sure you watch it. Check it out. I'm just going to talk about some stuff. But I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for rocking. Thank you for hanging. Join our community. Text LW into 84576. Text LW into 84576. Continue to stay safe. Continue to do the right thing. Know that we love you and God loves you more. So let me ask. So I'm going to say this until we're going to close. I think the real reason Miss Biles has gotten out is because she's pregnant. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Peace out. I didn't want to catch that.
Good morning.
Welcome to another edition of Good morning. What's up, everybody?